So basic chem. Most of this, the beginning of this unit is review with a little bit of application, but part 2, which is compounds, is a little bit more complicated, okay? So I wouldn't say most of this unit. The beginning of this unit is review. So let's see who knows something. So basic chemistry is the title for unit 2 and organic compounds or compounds in general. So let's review topics that, or vocab. What's an element? Anybody know? Give me an example of one.
Hydrogen.
Hydrogen. What else? Gold.
Silver.
Silver.
Carbon dioxide.
Carbon and oxygen, those elements combine to form carbon dioxide. Okay, so what I want you to know about an element is that it is something that you cannot break apart. It's what it is. What they do is combine. And that's what we're going to learn about elements in this unit. An atom makes up an element, and it's what we call the smallest unit of an element. And an atom has 3 parts. Who knows what they are?
Protons.
Protons,
Neutrons.
neutrons, electrons. Where these protons, neutrons, and electrons go on this diagram? Nick. Good. How do you know that? Good. The plus sign gave away that the proton is a positive. Melanie.
The electrons are on the rings.
On the rings.
They're negative
Electrons
charge.
form shells around in circles, and they are negatively charged. So what's left? Neutrons. So what's unique about protons and neutrons? Where are they both found? In the nucleus. We're going to review all that in the next slide. So in case you haven't noticed, I always introduce things and then we dive into them. Okay, so we introduced protons, neutrons, and electrons, where they're located on the atom. Let's kind of define them. And we kind of already did in the last slide. So what do we know about a proton?
It has a plus.
You are
Carlos.
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 And what were you going to tell me about a proton?
It has a plus sign and it has a positive charge.
Good. It's positively charged. And something you might not know is that the protons always equal the atomic number. What can you tell me about a neutron?
0.
Yes.
Neutrons.
Let's say, notice how I had this covered. NEU, neutral. Good. What does that mean?
It's not positive or negative.
It's not positive or negative. It's neutral. Okay, so it has a neutral charge. That should be highlighted instead of underlined, but try to highlight that word. NEU, neutral charge. Where are my protons and neutrons found? Raise your hand if you could tell me that. Name.
Oh, Lily.
Lily. Lily, you're right. It's found in the nucleus. All right. So we've got protons positive. They're equal to the atomic number. Neutrons, no charge. Neutral. And both of those are found in the nucleus. So what's left? Electrons. What can you tell me about that? Negatively charged. And Sabrina. And where are they? They're floating outside of the nucleus. Okay, like in rings. So right here you see this negatively charged atom floating, particle. They're particles, by the way, not atoms. This is an atom. These are my 3 particles inside the atom. Protons, neutrons, and electrons. And an electron always equals what? Who knows that? That's a little tougher. So the number of blank always equals the number of electrons. Nope. Nobody?
Neutrons?
Nope. Correct. Protons. What's your name again? Ryan. Good job. So sometimes atoms lose an electron or they gain an electron. Anybody know what that atom is called? It becomes an atom with a charge. So it becomes a charged atom. Yes. What's your name? Vanessa, good job. It's an ion. Ions are atoms with a charge.
And negative would be cation.
We're going to talk about the difference between positively charged atoms and negatively charged atoms or positively charged ions in our next slide. So lastly, definition-wise, when we take protons and we add neutrons, so we take the number of protons and we add the number of neutrons, does anybody know what that gives us for the atom? Yes. Good job. Atomic mass. Good job, Nick.